How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things relating to Marvel and the MCU. And today we're going to be talking about Black Widow. Now, unfortunately, you've probably heard that because of the coronavirus, COVID-19, Black Widow's release date has been pushed back. And as of right now, there is no word on any new release date being set or if they're going to release it on Disney+. However, today we do have a plot leak that does supposedly reveal the two post-credit scenes for the Black Widow movie. And one of them is a major setup and a huge reveal for the future of the MCU. We know that Black Widow is kind of an origin story. It takes place between the events of Captain America Civil War and of course Avengers Infinity War, but it will also show us Black Widow's past as well. But of course we knew that Marvel Studios wouldn't have Black Widow, which of course is the first movie of Phase 4, not give us anything about the future of Marvel. So it makes perfect sense that the post-credit scene would set up the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to break down these leaks and these post-credit scenes and talk about what it means for the Black Widow movie and what it means for the future of Marvel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on everything relating to the MCU, and so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. Also, if you're trying to avoid any and all types of spoilers for Black Widow, here is your official spoiler warning if these leaks end up being true. So today's leak comes from 4chan, which is where the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame leaks came from that ended up being accurate. And this new leak that we got actually ties into some leaks that we've gotten from the past and proves them to be true. Now, these previous leaks told us that, of course, the villain is Taskmaster, and Taskmaster is Mason. Mason is Natasha's former lover and a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Moreover, Nat's sister from her Black Widow days, Yelena, will end up saving Nat's life and killing Taskmaster at the end of the film, just as he's about to get the drop on Natasha. And the leak states, Taskmaster always seems to know where they will be. The film makes you think that all of her allies could be him. He is able to perfectly mirror all of the combat styles, has a memorable fight with Red Guardian, a dirty bar fight version of Cap vs. Cap in Endgame. He has a tank/mobile command center that drives itself. Think Idris Elba's motorcycle in Hobbs & Shaw. This is gonna steal the show in the same way. The arc of the film is very much this wild world calling Natasha back to it and her trying to get her family out of it. Mason is revealed to be Taskmaster and kills Red Guardian in front of Natasha and Yelena during a cinematic fight between all of them and Melina. The remaining Black Widows turn on Iron Maiden and she ends up locked in the Red Room torture chamber to get her justice. Yelena kills Taskmaster by shooting him through his broken mask as he is about to kill Natasha. And this leads us to the new leak from somebody who claims to have seen the movie. Now, the film was supposed to come out in basically a month. It's pretty much done. Maybe a few edits here and there, but the movie is complete. So there are people who have definitely seen the movie. This is the same thing that happened in Infinity War and Endgame. The movies were shown to some people and they ended up posting what they saw online. And this is what this person saw. They say that it's Marvel Studios' version of Mission Impossible / John Wick. Saw Black Widow today and was pleasantly surprised. It's basically a Mission Impossible sequel with Black Widow replacing Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt, and it works better than you'd expect. Same plot beats, excommunicated, hunted by the government, get this thing so life can go back to normal. Oh no, there's a grander conspiracy, save the world, give the thing to your sister, deal with the consequences, peace out. Now we know based off of previous plot leaks that this so-called thing that he's talking about in this leak is a flash drive. And apparently on this flash drive is a program that can erase your name from any and all databases on Earth. Basically you get completely off the grid and your name is cleared. So obviously it would make sense that Black Widow is searching for this after the events of the Winter Soldier and the events of Captain America Civil War. Because after Civil War, she's a wanted fugitive. All of the action involving Taskmaster was awesome. It's a little obvious he's Black Widow's ex, but it's pulled off well enough. The real twist is that Rachel Weisz's character is bad. So Melina / Iron Maiden is bad, which is something that most of us have expected. We even saw her Iron Maiden mask in the full Black Widow trailer. So Iron Maiden / Melina is the true villain of the movie, and Taskmaster and Yelena are working together for Thunderbolt Ross. More on that in just a second. He goes on to say that Red Guardian dies, which is what the other leak has said as well. There's some awesome CGI helicopter scenes, which we've seen in the trailers as well, and the hand-to-hand combat scenes are all really awesome. He says the movie is also really funny and there's a lot of good jokes in it, and they say that Hawkeye, Robert Downey Jr., Nick Fury, and Walton Goggins have cameos. Now, Walter Goggins plays Sonny Burch in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we know that he was working for some mysterious benefactor, and based off of the post-credit scene that I'm about to tell you, we know who it is. So reportedly, there are 2 post-credit scenes. One is Florence Pugh, who of course plays Yelena Belova, and Taskmaster giving Thunderbolt Ross the flash drive. This is the flash drive that apparently has the ability to remove anyone's name from all databases. They give him the flash drive and he tells them that they are just getting started. The second one is one that we've heard before, is Hawkeye with his children at Nat's grave. He's all tatted up like he was in Avengers Endgame because of course it takes place in the present time because Natasha is dead, she really did die in Avengers Endgame. So those are the Black Widow post-credit scene leaks, but let's talk about that first post-credit scene. Yelena Belova and Taskmaster working for Thunderbolt Ross the entire time. This is because he is setting up the Thunderbolts. Now, we've already gotten reports that the Thunderbolts were going to be set up very early on in Marvel's Phase 4. As it turns out, they're going to be set up in the first film of Phase 4, which doesn't come as that big of a shock because, again, we see Thunderbolt Ross in the trailers for the Black Widow movie. We knew that he served some major purpose of the film more than just tracking Black Widow down. Black Widow isn't the only person to not abide by the Sokovia Accords. There were plenty of others, and in the trailers, Thunderbolt Ross has a ton of troops with him. And that's not just to capture Black Widow, but now we know about the flash drive, so the fact that he has a lot more reinforcements makes a lot of sense. However, the flash drive is most likely not his primary goal. He has Yelena and Taskmaster to go and get the flash drive from Black Widow. That is their purpose. He is their first recruits. But Thunderbolt Ross himself is most likely trying to get a hold of the super soldier serum that is used on the Black Widows. The Thunderbolts are clearly being set up, which means we have to have Red Hulk. And how does Thunderbolt Ross become Red Hulk? Well, it's the serum that we've seen in the Black Widow trailers. Now, the vials that hold the serum, the red serum, because again, it's Red Hulk, are shown a lot in the trailers, although they are never mentioned. But we found out that this is in fact a form of super soldier serum, and the Black Widow program is using this on the Black Widows to control their minds. This is what Thunderbolt Ross wants. This is what he himself is going after in the Black Widow movie. And recently, we have learned that he does in fact get his hands on this serum, and we're going to see it arise again in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Thunderbolt Ross uses this serum to control the new Captain America, US Agent John Walker. We find out that Sam was actually pardoned for everything that has happened due to his role in Avengers Endgame, and he goes on to be given the opportunity to become the new Captain America. However, the stipulation is that he has to take the super soldier serum, just like Steve Rogers. He ultimately decides not to, and John Walker takes the serum and now is being mind controlled by Thunderbolt Ross. And this is all a part of his plan and due to the workings of his Thunderbolts. Now, this isn't something that Thunderbolt Ross has only recently began to work on. If we look back to the Incredible Hulk, this is what he's been planning for years and years, all the way back in 2008. However, it was revealed that Thunderbolt Ross was snapped. He was a part of the half that got snapped away during the decimation. Now, of course, he came back and we saw him at the end of Avengers Endgame at Tony Stark's funeral. But his whole deal is that he wants a group of people that he can control to protect the world. That was the whole thing with the Sokovia Accords. He had no control over the Avengers and what they did, and he wanted full control over them. He wanted to control their missions and everything that they did. Well, since he got snapped and came back, he's most likely increased his efforts to put together the Thunderbolt team, and that's very apparent in this leaked post-credit scene for Black Widow. Now, the Thunderbolts are also probably going to be introduced much like the Avengers were, one at a time or a few at a time. In Black Widow, we're going to see Yelena and Taskmaster. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we're most likely going to see Zemo, and there have been talks by the great leaker Roger Wardell that Justin Hammer is going to return, and Ghost is going to be returning as well. And not to mention, if this leak is true, they said that Sonny Burch is in the film, and that most likely means that Thunderbolt Ross is the mysterious benefactor from Ant-Man and the Wasp. And if we think about it, it makes perfect sense. So expect a pretty cool Thunderbolts team coming to the future of the MCU, most likely coming full force in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then of course the second post-credit scene is of Hawkeye with his family at Natasha's grave. This is basically just paying her respect. We didn't get a funeral for Natasha in Avengers Endgame, just Tony Stark. And that made fans pretty mad. After all, everybody loves Natasha, and it didn't really make sense that we didn't see a funeral for her, especially after she sacrificed herself. But a perfect tribute to her would be Hawkeye and his family, who of course all loved her very deeply. The kids even called her Aunt Nat, so the closest people to her at her grave paying respect to her in the post-credit scene, kind of making up for the lack of a funeral in Avengers Endgame. So those are the leaks that we have for the plot and the post-credit scenes for the Black Widow movie. What do you think about this? What do you think about the plot leak, the post-credit scene, and what do you think about the Thunderbolts coming to the MCU in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date on all things relating to the MCU. And I'm picking a winner for my giveaway at 550,000 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter for live updates, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.